Screen door slams, Mary's dress waves. Like a vision she dances across the porch as the radio plays.
Singer-songwriter Adam Hanna, class of 2018, is our guest on this week's Providence College podcast. My name is Joe Carr. Welcome.
Don't turn me home again, I just can't face myself alone again.
Adam's soulful version of the Bruce Springsteen classic Thunder Road first caught our attention a couple of years ago, and since then, he's been a steady presence at college events and in the community, performing both covers and original compositions. He has a bright future and high ambitions, and we're happy to have him with us today. Adam, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you for having me, Joe. I appreciate it. It's good to be back here after 2 weeks of graduating.
Nice to see you.
Let's
start by talking about Bruce Springsteen. You've identified him as one of your musical influences. And by the way, that endears you to generations of Providence College alumni. What is it about Bruce Springsteen?
Everything about Bruce Springsteen, but if I had to hone it in, two things. It's his lyrics and its ability to perform like nothing else matters in life. I actually just a couple weeks ago saw him. I don't know if you're familiar with Springsteen on Broadway in New York, but as a graduation gift, my parents took me to go see him on Broadway. It was incredible. And it wasn't the Bruce Springsteen that one of the main reasons I like him, that he runs around and goes crazy, but he talked to you as loud as I'm talking to you right now, and he'd play these songs, and he has the ability to pull you in. And that's always been my inspiration with that guy, whether he's on the radio or live. It's like he just encapsulates you and everybody in the audience, you know. So that's always been my thing with that guy. Is he's incredible with that, you know. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
I've heard that there's a storytelling performance to these Broadway shows, so it's different in that sense. And he wrote a memoir a couple of years ago, did a bunch of interviews, and when I heard and read about some of that, it really jumped out at me that he's a brilliant communicator, a terrific writer, and a great speaker on top of the music.
All the way around. And on the Broadway thing, you really get a sense of that. Any of his shows, you get a sense of that. He tells stories, not just in his songs, but actually like talking right now. He'll tell you stories through the mic. And everybody, at most concerts, everybody's going nuts, and they are during his songs, but when he talks, nobody else does. You know, and he just has this ability he'll make you cry, and he'll make you laugh, and he'll make you scream, and everything else. So and I think he's as much of an actor on stage as he is a singer. He's got everything possible going for him.
There's a lot of charisma there.
There's a lot of charisma, yes.
And when I watch you perform, I can see that too, and I suspect it's something that you work hard on developing. When you can have an experience like that where you're watching Bruce Springsteen up close, I suspect you can pick up things and try to incorporate them into your own performance.
Yeah, always. I mean, I'm not even, this isn't just me watching him live either. This is me watching him live on YouTube. Like now we have the internet, so I can watch anybody I want as much as I want. So same thing with Bono from U2, and it's the same thing with Freddie Mercury from Queen. They all have this ability, like Springsteen, to just make you go crazy and then bring it down, and then and that's really what I think it's lacking a little bit in music today. I think both lyrics and the ability to perform like that with a full band, and I think that is lacking today. So I'm trying to bring that back a little bit in my own music, and I have to work hard at it, because it's just like a sport where if you want to get faster, if you want to get stronger, you have to watch your idols, you have to watch the people who are better than you, and you have to take those things and realize what you're not good at. And it's exactly like you said, Springsteen for me is that number one top guy that I'm always learning from, and always will. There'll always be something else I can learn.
You're also an accomplished guitarist. Who are some of your other influences, especially when it comes to musicianship?
Yes, so John Mayer is a big one, very big one, because that guy, he's a great songwriter, but his main thing is guitar. And I remember taking, when I was probably in 8th grade, freshman year of high school, I took probably 6 months to learn all his songs. He's the only guy I've ever done that with, but I didn't even do that with Springsteen. John Mayer, though, I learned every one of that guy's songs, so I can play guitar, a lot of the similar kind of guitar riffs that he does. And that has gone for miles with me. Like, it's just, he has a different way of playing. Ed Sheeran also has another way of writing songs and playing guitar to bring you in. So there's definitely a lot of influences like that especially with the acoustic guitar. I'm not a big like crazy train kind of guy, like tapping the electric guitar or anything like that, doing crazy solos. My band can do that, but for me, it's like I want to write those songs that can bring you in with the acoustic guitar, like John Mayer and Springsteen does too. So
when did you first pick up a guitar, and when did you realize that music was going to be a big part of your life?
Pretty young. I think I realized music was going to be a big part of my life as soon as I picked up a guitar, and I think I was 8 years old. And my guitar, my dad used to play guitar and sing when he was younger, and so he told me about the benefits of doing that and how it can last so much longer than a sport can, because you get older and you have to stop playing your sport at some point usually. And with the guitar, you always can pick it up. And he told me that on day one, and I just was like, whatever, Dad. You know what I mean? And then I started realizing as I got older that this was something that spoke languages to people that you can't really, it's not like English or Spanish or something. It's like this innate thing that people really pick up on. And both gender, I mean, I always, when I started to really like girls, it drove me, you know what I mean? Because girls are always really, they love the guitar and they love singing, but it was something, like guys even have this passion or respect for if you can play a guitar and sing. It's like, you know, they might be mad that you're the one that's singing to the girl, but at the same time, they're like, they really genuinely respect it. So there's just, it really is something innate about music that spoke to me, and I think speaks to other people in ways that you just can't really explain. You know, so that I don't know if I understood that all at 8 years old, but it definitely came quick to me. I think learning came quick to me, and understanding what it could do for me came very quick.
Have you dabbled with other instruments?
Yeah, I have. I'm not good though. I can play harmonica a little bit, and that works with the guitar. Piano, I can, you know, to the naked ear, to somebody who doesn't really know what they're listening to, I sound okay. To myself, I'm terrible.
High standards, right?
I have to have high standards, yeah.
Let's talk about your story. What brought you to Providence College as a student?
So I didn't get in anywhere else. No, I'm not kidding. But there was something about the school when I came here that was just, everybody said Friar family, you know what I mean? And I didn't really believe it. And then I stepped foot on campus, and I had multiple family members that had come here. My cousin gave me my first tour, and she had graduated, I think, 3 years before me. And then she just instilled all this in me, this Friar family thing. And I was just like, yeah, whatever. And, you know, every school says that. I came here freshman year, and I automatically got it. You know what I mean? It might have taken me to sophomore year, but then by like senior year, and I'm sitting here now, and I'm like, that Friar family thing makes so much sense now. You know what I mean? And you can't, if I had a little brother or a little sister, which I do have those two, that if they'd want to come here, I could tell them, but you don't get it until you come here, like what this school can do for you. So I joke around saying I didn't get anywhere else. You know, I applied to BC, I applied to Fordham, I applied to all those neighboring schools. And I didn't get in, but I'm so grateful now that I didn't. You know, it's weird how things work like that. And I am very happy with the way things wound up here. I don't think it would have been the same if I went to New York or even Boston. There's something about this school where the kids, they're your friends, but they do treat you like your brother, you know? So I lucked out. I really did.
Well, some of that sort of exemplified in your story and your performances when you perform around Providence. Lots of PC students show up to support you, and I've noticed that you engage other PC students to either perform with you or to be opening acts for you. So this is sort of a thing that all fits together in a sense.
Yeah, I didn't know. Again, I would have had no idea of foreseeing this when I was younger, or even freshman, sophomore year. But once junior year came around, I had already seen what the kids did with the hockey team and the basketball team and all the sports team, how they supported them all. And I knew I could sing and play guitar. I was like, why don't I just make this my sport here? You know, why don't I see what I can do? I'll try to do one show. In my first show, nobody knew it was going to happen off campus, and I think 100 kids came, and it was the most incredible night of my life because I realized, wow, kids are actually going to come and see me play. Never mind money, like that was a part of it, but it didn't make any difference to me. It was like all these kids are coming to see me play, and what I did from that moment on, from that night until the end of senior year, was I probably did a show a month, maybe a show every 6 weeks, and the venues got bigger as we went and ended up getting like 800 kids, 900 kids to the shows. But I'd have opening acts all from PC every single time. So if I think I ended up doing total like 11 shows by the end of my senior year, and every show would be some of the same opening acts from different classes of PC. And what I would start doing is I'd have just people from my class open up for me, just because we were all friends. But then as this stuff grew, when I was a senior, I had freshmen open up for me, I had sophomores open up for me, I had juniors open up for me. And we really, and it's not it was really a we kind of thing. All these opening acts and myself brought the school together for events, and it was enjoyable events that just, it was a party, but it was something different, it was something that I really pride myself in, and I always will, the ability the fact that I had the ability to do something like that. And when I say that school would have been different at Fordham or BC, and that's not a knock on those schools, but I just don't know if I would have been able to do those things, because it's a little bigger, it's a little, it doesn't have the same feel as PC does. One thing happens at PC and the entire campus knows about it and wants to be a part of it, So extremely, extremely grateful. That was the coolest part of my whole time here. You're smiling right now. I'm smiling right, too. Yep. It's just like it's different. It's something that you just don't hear about every day.
Well, you're a standout, obviously, but there are a lot of talented students here. Of course, we see student athletes out performing publicly, but when you go to a theater performance or watch the people performing with you musically, you really see that.
Yeah, I had no idea either until there was times where it was the end of senior year and I found out that some new guy or girl could sing. I was like, why didn't I know this a year ago? And they're incredible. They really are incredible. All these, I didn't have one opening act that wasn't really very, very good. And the other cool thing about that was they were, as grateful as I am, they were even maybe more so grateful that when they got off that stage, I'm on stage 4 or 5 nights a week sometimes, especially in the summer now. I'm always doing stuff. But for them, they might have had to 1, 2, 3 times to do that in their life maybe. And so when they got off stage in front of 500 kids, they were like, oh my, their eyes wide, and oh my God. And that maybe was the coolest moment of those nights for me, to see the impact I was having on other people too. And again, something you can't foresee, to know that was going to be what made you feel really good about the nights, but it really was the whole thing. Every one of those shows had something different that brought to me and to everybody else. So it was cool.
So you arrived here with a specific focus, and you were already accomplished, but you took some music classes too, so you had some access to the music faculty and other students?
Right. Yeah, and I met also, I didn't bring this up, but Pat Heffernan was one, I don't know if you know him, but he was a saxophone player in the Thunder Road video, actually, and I met him. He was a music major, and he gained, from freshman year to senior year, he was a new beast. He was incredible. By senior year, he was great freshman year, but by senior year, I was like, geez, man. And he was in that music major. I totally forgot about that when you asked me earlier. And so it goes to show you that, this school might not have the best rep for a music department or whatever, just because it's not, known. But man, there's people that go into that program and come out different. And I took a few classes, and they were definitely good. But I think that they were just, the big thing was they were welcoming. I could go in that music room at midnight if I wanted to, if my roommates were being nuts and I just wanted to go dabble on the piano for a while and get a little bit better at what I was bad at. I could just go and play the piano for a while and sing as loud as I wanted to. And I'm sure I would be doing vocal exercises, and there people like, who is this kid doing? I'm like, geez. And but anytime I wanted, right in that music department, and that's something going forward for any musician that comes here. That's a very big asset. So.
You graduated in May. Congratulations on that, by the way. What have you been doing since, and what's in your immediate future?
So since, I've been playing gigs left and right, really 4 or 5 nights a week, which is taxing on my voice, but it is. I need to learn how to do it, because if I want to do this for my life, whatever means that I need to know how to do this. So it's very good, and that's what I'm planning on doing right now. I'm jumping in. I'm kind of diving in right now and seeing what happens over the next year or two. And the thing is, I have a degree now, so if I want to go and do something else, I can do that really anytime I want. But for now, I'm focusing on growing social media. I'm focusing on growing. I'm trying to move my fan base into Boston more. I've already picked up some very big gigs in Boston at good bars and nightlife over there with full bands. So I just got a big one last night too that I'm really excited about. So if this is something that can,
is that anything you could tell us about?
It's called there's a few out there that are going well right now. There's one called Coppersmith. These aren't like venues where you'd go and pay to see me, but they're really good bars in Boston where everybody goes. So Coppersmith is one in South Boston. There's another one I just got last night called Capo, and that's a very big restaurant and bar in South Boston. So as of now, I'm not charging people to come see me. I don't think that's necessary. I'm trying to get my name and face seen out there and voice heard. I think that's very important. You can't always charge for everything. You know what I mean? So, and that comes. That I've learned that already in the past, where you got to put yourself out there and let people see you for who you are. And that's what I'm doing in Boston right now. And I'll probably come back next year and maybe do a show or two for the kids back here who want to open up again, and the kids who want to come see again. So that's in the future. And just writing and social media, as you know, is such a huge asset in any business right now. And I'm kind of treating myself like a business in that way and in every way, and trying to grow that and everything involved in the music right now. I'm jumping in, Joe. I'm jumping in and seeing what happens. It might be a different conversation in a year. I don't know, better or worse, but I'm jumping.
So if it goes well, would a logical progression take you to another city, to a Nashville or something?
Yeah,
like
it would.
That?
It definitely would.
Happen?
I think, the thing is with social media is that you can be anywhere now. I've worked with people who are helping me with social media who literally can go to Hawaii for 3 weeks and it makes no difference. So that's not going to be me, because I need to put myself out there physically for now. But definitely I'm hitting Boston for as long as I need to, like, not take over. But I mean, I want to be one of the big names in Boston. And then once that happens, and once I get another opportunity, I think the three cities are New York, Nashville, and LA. I love LA because I like the sun and I love being tan, and I love, I'm just an LA kind of guy. So that would be my place I'd want to go. But I also, New York's too crazy for me. So much love to everybody who is able to deal with that out there. I went there a couple weeks ago and it's just like a jungle. And so I can't, but anybody that can is great. And Nashville's, I think, the opposite of New York. And I actually have to check that out. That's the one place I have not been yet. So we'll see. Probably Nashville or LA. It's
a fun place. You'll enjoy your visit there. I've been there once. Yeah.
You like it?
It's pretty good.
Good.
Yep. There's certainly for somebody interested in music,
You're right.
You'll find it to be really a playground to check out.
That's good.
So
maybe I will end up there then.
That sounds good. So you earned a degree in marketing,
right? And
that makes sense given your aspirations. You're talking about social media, developing your brand that way. Do you think that academic experience helped you and gave you a way to develop some of the fundamentals that you're going to apply and that you are applying here?
Yes, very, very, very much so. I don't think I realized it until senior year. Actually, I really don't think I realized it till now, because the things I learned in that class, I mean, I can't give you terms. I can't give you, the exact math equations I used to figure everything out. But I walked out of those classes the same way Pat Heffernan walked out a different animal on the saxophone. I walked out a different animal on what I could do promoting events, or really myself. And again, social media is the main thing. So everything they taught you in that class, they might not have had a class directly on social media, but everything you learn in there can be applied to social media and to promoting yourself at shows. And all my teachers were also, I couldn't believe it. They were so, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess they were just so supportive of what I was doing. I never had the best grades. I admit that to anybody at the school. People know that for a fact. I didn't do terrible, but I did not have the best grades. And my teachers just knew what was going on. And they worked with me, and they were like, look, we know what you're doing. And we want to help you, so when you get out of here, you'll know what to do with this. And every one of them, I mean, I could name them. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to leave anybody out. But each and every one of them had some way of supporting me in what I was doing, and just understanding is the word. They were so understanding of what was going on, and treated me as such, as just as another student who was trying in their own way, And so, again, so grateful for that. And the amount of stuff I learned in those classrooms is, I can't put a price on that. The school's expensive, but I can't put a price on it. I can't. Like, there's so much that I took from friends here in classes that I just wouldn't have any other place.
Well, that's great testimony and endorsement. Incidentally, we'll put your social media handles in the show notes so people can follow you, Instagram and so forth. I really enjoy your Instagram presence. Do a great job
Thank you.
there in particular. During Adam's junior year, the college celebrated its centennial, concluding with a great party last fall, and the event organizers asked Adam to compose and perform a song which will forever be a part of that once-in-a-lifetime centennial celebration. Let's listen to a little.
Old houses were open fields 100 years ago. The world was filled with secrets still concealed 100 years ago. Men built cities, paved these roads, and farmed these fields. Through endless lessons learned and possibilities revealed 100 years ago, no one we know was here. 100 years to go, new faces will appear. Time is a tiny plot of land we work so hard to clear. We have a lease that says 100 years. Poor people of simple means 100 years ago accomplished things they never could have dreamed 100 years ago. Each generation solves the puzzle piece by piece, exploding through the doors unlocked by those who came before. 100 years ago, no one we know was here. 100 years to go, new faces will appear. Time is a tiny plot of land we work so hard to clear. We have a lease that says 100 years.
That's very nice, Adam. So what was that project like for you? It was really well received, and it's a beautiful tribute to a century of impact. Performing before that crowd in that setting, how'd that feel?
Man, I got to go back now and think about this, but it was something I can't really put words to, because there were so many people of so many different ages there. I remember, I think there were people that had to be 90. Like, I'm serious. There was some people, but they all respected it in this incredible way. I probably from like 30 to 80 to 90, but the main thing with that whole thing was so funny, because I remember Sarah Ferretto emailed me and she was like, yeah, we need a song about 100 years about PC. You think you could write one? I'm like, Sarah, what? Like, are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. And she's like, it needs to be something about how the school's been around for 100 years. And I was like, all right, I'll see what I can do. And I came up with something, and I think everybody ended up liking it, And when I performed it, I was actually very nervous to perform that song, because there was people that it wasn't high stakes, but there was so much emotions put into the school by those people, and in years of being out or being connected to it, and I was going up and almost representing what those 100 years meant. And I think it went over really well. I don't remember screwing up at all, which was great, and the sound was great, and everybody, I think there was a standing ovation, which also was very cool. And that wasn't like going and performing in Pawtucket where everybody came out and had drinks in their hands. Like, they might have had drinks in their hands, but they listened to the words I was saying, and it's cool because those are the words I wrote. And yeah, that was probably one of the best memories I actually had at this school. It wasn't with all my friends or anything, but it was all with people that I was connected to in some way by being at the school.
Sarah Ferretto, we should point out, works in the college's alumni relations office, and was one of the primary organizers of that event. Very creative.
I've worked with her a lot over the past 2 years. She's been great.
Lots of great ideas. How about performing at a reunion a couple of weeks ago? Right. Outside, it was about 115 degrees.
Yeah, you should have heard the words my band was saying on stage. No, it was great. It was really good. I think I got burnt and tan, which is good with me. And also, again, a very wide range of people there. And always very respectful. It was a good time being out there. I saw all the different classes. I was like, oh, it's going to be me in a couple of years. I don't know if that's good or bad. It was fun.
It's good, trust me.
All right, good.
Let's talk about the songwriting process. How does it start for you? Maybe take us through an example of how you put together a song.
Yeah, sure. So there's no believe me, I've tried to dissect this so many times and figure out what it takes to make a hit song or what it takes to write a song, and there is no answer. I think that usually, a lot of times with me, is like I'll hear somebody say something. It's like, oh, that's kind of a cool phrase, and then I'll grab the guitar, and from there, stuff starts rolling out, you know. And whether it's the line that starts or it's a guitar lick, it's always different. And I think the most important thing is a catchy melody, because if you listen to the radio now, there's not too many meaningful lyrics going on right now, and people still sing the words. So what I'm trying to do is bring back meaningful lyrics. That's something my dad is very good at, and I'm very grateful for. I told you he used to be a musician himself, and his main thing that he does is lyrics. So a lot of times I'll go to him with a started song, 3/4 done, or a totally finished song. I say, hey, can you go through this a little bit and make it better? And he just makes it make more sense. You know what I mean? A lot of times I go to him with random lines that just don't make much sense, but they sound good, you know. And he'll like, oh, this, if you just put this word here and put this word here, it's like, oh, that makes a lot more sense now. And people end up singing it. So it's always different. I'm glad I have my dad on my team with this stuff, so we can work together. It's also a great father-son relationship. And but yeah, it's always different. There's no, I think one thing I've learned from doing covers the last 2 years so much is I only play hit songs pretty much. I think that's why people like coming to my shows a lot of times, is because I just do those classics and the new ones that everybody knows the words to. So I've started to actually sit down with them and be like, all right, what is making this song what it is? What makes people go nuts over this song? And really, since I graduated and right before, I'm starting to do that. And so the last couple songs I've written, I think are my best ones so far. So I'm starting to have a little success in dissecting what it is to get a hit song, but it's not easy, you know.
So it's not always the lyric first or the music first. It's
always depends. I really do think it's the coolest thing though when somebody says something just random, and you're like, there it is. I think one example, my brother at the dinner table like a year or two ago, he went to say, I can't wait till tomorrow, and he goes, I can't wait till yesterday. And I'm like, Alex, man, you just gave me my next song. And that's a song. It's a good song now. That's it's probably going to come out at least within the next, whenever, soon. But can't wait till yesterday. It's just one of those things.
Well, that means you must listen differently than other people do if your ears are open for that kind of
I think
thing.
they just perk up for those lines. No, but I do. I think it's important for me, especially on shows like this or whatever it is. In the position I'm in, I need to be able to listen, whether it's to music or to people talking. It's so important. Like when you have a cell phone now, everybody, especially kids my age, they don't listen. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's that they're listening, but they don't actually hear. You actually have to let it sink in. Like somebody telling you their name and you just don't remember it 10 seconds later. I'm bad with that too, but like if you're actually listening or in hearing, you will, that'll sink in. So I think that's important for music, especially in conversation.
So what kinds of things are you working on as you develop your craft? What's your focus right now?
My focus really social media is my focus right now, to be honest, because it sounds funny, but people need to, I know I'm good and I know I can sing well and I can play guitar, and that's always going to get better. And I'll get to that in a second, but people need to know who I am. So until that happens, I can get as good as I need to be. But if people aren't looking at me on social media and know that I exist, doesn't make a difference. So right now, that's my biggest thing. So I'm trying to put out content. As far as my crafts goes, my voice, 100%, because I spent so many years on guitar. I think I'm at a place right now where I'm comfortable, and there'll always be a time where I'm like, all right, I want to get better at this aspect of guitar. But my voice is that I'm learning now that my voice and everybody's voice is that one thing that people will go nuts over, because not everybody has a guitar. Not everybody has a pick to play with, and not everybody has a piano. Everybody has a voice. So there's a certain, again, I use this word innate, there's this innate feeling inside of you when somebody has a really good voice. It's like, I could be doing that too. You know what I mean? Like, and there's something very special when somebody opens their voice and that's them. And that's the point I'm trying to get to right now, is like making my voice my voice. I'm reading a biography right now on Frank Sinatra. I read one on Elvis, and I read one, and all these people knew when they opened their mouth. Part of that is marketing, that they just heard him so many times, but they all had this distinct sound, and that's what I'm trying to get right now. Is that distinct sound of my voice? Is, oh, that's Adam Hanna.
So you mentioned a couple of places you'll be performing in Boston. Any places locally around Providence you have performances coming up? Anything you can sort of promote or would like to promote?
Not too much running. I have this hotel I'm playing at in Warwick, Rhode Island. It's called Nilo. So if anybody's around in Providence, I do that. I think it's really once a week or once every 2 weeks. I have it on Friday or Saturdays, and it's a nice outdoor patio. But I think once September to December rolls around, I'll be thinking about how to do the big coming back show for all the kids here, whether that be at the Met or wherever else in Pawtucket. I think that we'll get a lot of kids here to come back for. I won't be doing it every month anymore, but whether it's just one in November or December, there'll definitely be a resurgence of one of those nights, you know.
Well, that sounds good. Well, I really appreciate you coming in today on your dad's birthday. You mentioned your dad a couple of times. You're on your way to dinner with him on June 21st, so have a great time.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's been a good time.
Oh, great. Well, like so many in our community, I've really enjoyed your performances over the most recent few years. Can't wait to see what's in your future. It's going to be fun to watch.
Thank you very much. Hopefully we can do another one of these at some point in the future.
We would love it. And thank you for joining us today. You can subscribe to the Providence College podcast at all the usual places, and they're available on the college's YouTube channel. Feedback is welcome at podcast@providence.edu. Thanks to our producer, Chris Judge. I'm Joe Carr. Let's wrap up this podcast with some more of Adam's music. Here's his original song, Run While You're Young.
All her life Jill said she was gonna go, gonna graduate, she was gonna blow. She married Jack and they climbed that hill, and she never went and she never will. She never went and she never will. Don't lead a life of quiet desperation. Run while you're young. Dance to the beat of a different drum. No song unsung. Run while you're young. Believe in the things that you could become if you just run. Run while you're young. Every Sunday night there's a million men thinking I cannot go back again. They sit alone and they sip their beer. They wonder how'd I wind up here. They wonder how'd I wind up here. Don't lead a life of quiet desperation. Run while you're young. Dance to the beat of a different drum. No song unsung. Run while you're young. Believe in the things that you could become if you just run. We are young one time. We cannot rewind decisions that define our lives. We have to seize this time to sample every wine, to swing on every vine and run. On a bright white sheet lies a withered man. He don't know his name, he don't give a damn. On his skin so thin that the veins show through. The faded ink of an old tattoo says, run while you're young.